Well, I'm back in Arizona with the car. I thought I was going to ship it to New York. Out here for a couple of weeks. Want to get the motor running, get the electrical finished up, get it started up. The inside of the car is all packed up with stuff that would have been shipped up to New York. I'm going to unload the car and see what the heck I got going on. And we'll start working on the car again. And over here is the engine compartment. Most of the wiring's done. Got to hook it up. Bought a new remanufactured generator for it. So right now it's got the alternator. I'm going to get started up with the alternator, just with the battery charged up. And then after that I'll end up putting the generator on. Do it step by step. So alrighty. End up buying brand new harnesses for the engine compartment, except for the power seats and power windows. Those were fine. Was able to straighten them out. The whole engine's all wired up now. Spark plug wires. I got a brand new distributor. Got a brand new DC regulator. Ignition coil over there. So hopefully when we fire it up, we don't have any problems. And then I'm going to walk over on the other side, and I put a new generator in, rebuilt. So it wasn't too bad. It was 150 bucks plus a core charge of, I think it was 100. There's the new generator down there. New carburetor from Holley. There's a voltage regulator over there and all the new harnessing. So hopefully when we fire it up, I wired it correctly and we don't have any shorts or whatever. And we're going to cross our fingers. Clear. Okay, we're going to start the engine up. Engine started up with no problems at all. Ooh, car moving. This is my nephew Jason. Oops. Remember what I... All right, we timed the engine out. Running nice and smooth. We had a problem with the fuel pump, had to replace it. There's my nephew Jason and my nephew Ryan, the guys that did this one. Wow, wow. Okay, we did things in steps. This is what we did. First thing we did was fill up the float right here, which is the primary. We did the back, but it didn't really matter. That would be when you push down the accelerator hard. So we filled that up, had everything wired up, turned it over, and you can see from the prior video, first turn it didn't start, second turn it started right up. And then after that, what we did is we had the alternator on it just to keep the belt in place for the water pump and stuff. So we ended up putting the generator on it and hooking up the DC voltage regulator and the generator on the other side, and started up again filling the float. After we did the float, what we did is we hooked up the fuel pump with this tube here that we put in a gas can, on the other end and the fuel pump. And guess what? We couldn't get the fuel pump working. Down below there is a fuel pump that we bought from Napa. It was only $48. Couldn't believe it. And instead of having the ball like the 1960, it actually has like a canister under below as a filter. So we hooked that up. Hooked it up to have the carburetor with the filter on it, even though we didn't need it. And then the fuel pump, and then down to a gas can. Started up and it just ran perfect. The old fuel pump was shot. Took us about 2.5 hours to figure that one out. So anyways, when we put the fuel pump on there and then we were able to run the car, we were still had problems with the radiator. It had a punched hole in the radiator, so we're going to replace that. We used some cold melt on that, so that plugged the radiator up. So we had water in the radiator. We had a gas can to run the carburetor or run the engine, and we timed it out. And that last video you saw, it just purrs. There was not one adjustment we had to make to that carburetor, straight from the factory. And here's the information right here. It's a Holley carburetor. They call it the Brawler Series carburetor. Here's the model numbers, and it's 600 CFM. And we might play with the float a little or whatever, but there's little sight glasses. You can see how much gas is in the float, and so that worked out really well for us. So we got the car running. The transmission, we're able to shift it back and forth and move it. Ran the car for a while. Doesn't appear that it's heating up bad. And so that sort of finishes up this video segment. If you enjoyed our video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and have a nice day.